I've always liked going out to sea, but this time I had to settle for a trip on a sailboat on Garda Lake. That was a beautiful day. Early morning, cold wind, but sure, it would have been a pleasant trip. I was watching a man windsurfing who passed me no more than 10 meters from the bow, when an unexpected wind blow turned the sail boom and bang! Once upon a time, there was a king. No. Once upon a time, there were rocks full of nickel, of volcanic or metamorphic origin, accumulated together with tons and tons of other rocks, deposited in dark and unreachable places. Then, some men began to extract these rocks and work them. In the modern era, this material is used to produce steel, electronic devices, desalinators, rechargeable batteries. But although this element is certainly not in the process of exhaustion, the rocks in which it is found are less and less pure. Unscrupulous men from the old European lands made the old quarries unusable, polluting the soil and the ecosystem. 30 million jobs in the old lands of Europe depend on the use and processing of raw materials. But engineers are forced to work with too expensive and intractable tools. We need to find a special weapon, never thought before, to bring to light the ancient resources of the earth. Only new men, the most expert in science, can show the world a new way of sustainable development. New knights who bring the precious nickel atoms to safety and do not leave them buried under the deep of earth, who knows where. Luca Lutterotti is a professor. He's the professor, one of the few elect to know the arts of material science. His work, so far, has always been at the great school of industrial engineering in an old city of the old world. He has been a scientist for more than 30 years, specialized in the study of materials, fond of the art of spectrometry. When not engaged in research, the professor challenges nature in the adrenaline of a ski mountaineering descent, in the sail that unfolds in the wind. This is what drives a scientist. Standing in the office while performing endless calculations, or while probing a new instrument in the silence of a laboratory, like in a forge, when a soldier's armor is prepared, he is not alone. He is part of a perfect team, made up of specialists all over the world. But they need an idea. But one day, the professor recalled the time when he picked up a fluorite rock and someone showed him that under the UV rays it emitted light because of impurities. He remembered also with the old TV series where undoubted men from the future fought with gun-shaped lasers. The professor talks about it to the others, and the idea takes shape. An X-fluorescence gun spectrometer. With fluorescence, you can investigate the atomic structure of the material. With spectrometry, the crystalline structure. He gets to work immediately. To forge his tool, he performs computer simulation of the instrumentation schemes, analyzing the rock sample spectra, choosing the best configuration for the instrument operation, so that the spectra are more and more accurate. And the tool becomes reality. Without his shiny armor, but with his mind, a computer, and a laboratory as Alice, he is ready to unearth that nickel atom. He takes the gun, holds it, and bang! And then I found myself with one of those temperature guns like thermometers aimed at my forehead, stunned and lost. But I was wondering if that person beside the stretcher I was put on was the professor. Was he the man on the windsurf who saved me? But why did I really dream that story? Perhaps because reading through the research on raw materials, I had come across the professor and his search for this peaceful weapon that is anything but magical. And I understood. I wanted to become a scientist with the same taste for the challenge as the professor. Like the most valiant fighters are master of their own weapon, so whoever has to do subsoil analysis can have a fluorescence gun that will allow them to dig up the lost nickel. But behind the finished product, the reduced environmental cost and the possibility of employing many people involved in the study of raw materials, there is an engineer, there is a professor.